Coming up tonight, can you really squeeze a full fat RCD into an EV charger? Joe Hammond reveals why he's gone electric. Real insights from an EV installer with years in the game. The Electricians challenge gets an edit like never before. And Gary tackles OCPP without needing to lie down.
Hello, welcome to eFIXX TV, your fortnightly live stream here on Facebook and on YouTube. And yes, he did leave his computer on as we go into Rolec, the secrets that you want to reveal in this live stream. They've got 2 people in the comments. Start bringing them in now and we can unpack all about EV charging. Now, it's been an incredibly busy week, so busy you couldn't turn the sound down. But again, folks, I've got something incredibly slim and good looking to my right-hand side, and it is here in the form of the Quantum. Okay, look at that. It's got a white hasn't it? Okay, but it's a lot more beautiful, isn't it, young man? How are you?
I am very good, and there's a Bond scene running through a bit later on tonight, Gary. If you remember that character Whisper.
Oh, right. Do you think we've got one of those here?
I think we have got a Whisperer tonight, and we'll get into that. And obviously stay tuned, because you will want to find out about this.
Okay, yeah.
Hand cam, Gary, we've got a bit of hand cam.
Oh, yeah, just we'll have a look at this.
This fantastic,
look at that, twisting, twisting. Unbelievable.
Now, we're jiggling things up a bit this week. The challenge roll is going to be towards the middle, but that's the clue. That will be one. But we're it's been a packed day.
It has. There's so much to get through on this one, so please stay with us, and I'll get my first chance to say welcome to Wrexham. And I didn't get a chance to do that. And we see the people in the green room. You will also notice somebody very familiar to you TV fans. There on the left-hand side, we have got Ross Geller from Friends joining us. The Whisperer's in the middle, and our, well, let's say not tame because he's a big lad. Our EV expert, both domestically and commercially, is there as well. So yes, how did we manage to get Ross on the show? Unbelievable.
It's amazing these days who wants to get on.
Yeah. Now, when we talk about Wrexham, what are you thinking about?
Well, at the minute, Gary.
Yes.
I'm thinking, obviously, where's Joe Robinson gone? And he's normally in the chat tonight.
Okay, is he not?
He's not. He has gone to Wrexham, actually, because obviously, you know, he likes a caravan holiday.
He does. Loves a caravan holiday.
Obviously, picking in Rolec's marine background, he's decided to take a canal boat holiday this time. So he's on the Llangollen Canal, which I do believe goes through Wrexham. He did send in a little bit of footage.
Wow,
he found
look at that. He's got his own hookup.
He found some hookup points there, but obviously just not up to the par.
The boy lives a dream.
Of Rolec.
Absolutely lives a dream.
He never misses a trick, does he?
No. If he's got a temporary vehicle and a hookup, it's his bag. No warning on those, is it? So you have to live within the actual physical structure of the boat.
Live within that with the ducks. And Rick is in Ibiza.
Rick's not with us.
So we've had Ibiza final boss, we've had mini boss, and now we've got Rick as middle-aged boss.
He is bossing it as well, and absolutely bossing it. Look at that. That is you can see, obviously we've had to blank the tattoos out for those people that are easily offended, but that boy is absolutely ripping it. Ibiza, did you say?
Ibiza.
I'd imagine he won't get back, will he? They'll have him staying on and doing his own segments.
He'll be doing. He'll have his own. His following on Instagram will go up no end.
Okay. So. Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds absolutely good. Now, in breaking news, we've got to announce this. I might have to even jump up and speak to him. We've got someone that's come out in the team, okay? And that's not a bad thing, folks, so please stay with me. I don't think it'll be a surprise to anyone, including his family or ourselves here in the team.
No.
We've got Joe Hammond. He's just going to walk round and I'm just going to jump up and you'll take the hand cam and he's going to do his announcement as Joe quite bravely wants to come out to the eFIXX team. Unfortunately, we're short of mics now today, so big fella, we've known for a long time that you've got it inside you, okay, and it won't be news to anyone there. What's your dirty little secret?
I've got an EV.
You have, haven't you? You've got an EV car.
Finally done it.
Yeah, you've got
finally done it. Yeah. And it was a big step, but you know I got there. And I got there with the support of everyone else around here.
No worries. Thank you. Well done. Well done. We're so proud of you. Okay, so we'll come back to Joe at some point later on in the show, which links in nicely that obviously he's turned over. Now, I've got a good story before we get our famous guests in, okay, before Ross comes and joins us. I've got a nice story. So he'd had an EV for a week and he drove me home last night in the transit van because I may have had a glass of rosé wine because I didn't want to go red because it was £6 dearer. So I went for the rosé. And he decided that how to drive a manual car after a week is to ignore the clutch, and he nearly slammed my head into the dashboard. So I was doing a bit of social media. He was like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm not used to driving manuals. Ever since he passed his test, he's drove a manual. 1 week in an EV, you forget, don't you? There must be some sort of arrogance about having your car powered on electrons, I would suggest.
Forget easily. And people are already asking in the comments, what car do you get? He has got, I believe it is an MG, and I think he got a pretty aggressive deal.
Yeah, he
I
did,
think,
yeah.
from people already say, "Oh, I'm not having an EV; they're expensive."
They're not.
No, they're not.
No,
actually.
not if Thrifty's bought one, they ain't.
And
So
for that amount of storage,
no, they are not dear.
Yeah.
Now, we're going all EV. Please get your questions in. I'll pitch one in nice and early. Are you a tethered or untethered? If your customer is asking for an EV charger, would they be asking for tethered or untethered? So get that in to start the comments off, because what if you're a regular commenter in the chat? What's going to happen to you?
it is. You'll notice there's some numbers, little hashtags with 1, 2, or 3 in there. You could be a top fan. You only get a top fan by keep piling the comments in.
Right, okay.
And at the minute, Roy Horn is back in, regular viewer. Well, he's fighting it out with Paul Tipton actually to be the top.
And again, another regular
top
viewer.
follower. And actually, Rolec themselves are earning that number 2 position.
So
at the minute.
before obviously you get an idea of how we're going to take this live stream, get your questions in about Rolec and they will start answering it. And it means we've got to bring in the camera in the green cable room. Let's bring it in. Shall we sing a song as they come in? Yes or what? No, look, Ross is smiling away there. Yeah, okay. I don't know whether we can sing one as he comes in. Here he comes. It's the team from Rolec.
We have got Frankie Mellon, Managing Director, Alan Ross, Head of Training and Culture, and David Costello.
No one told me life was gonna be this way. Hey, my job's a joke. I'm broke. And Rolec's on its way. I'll be there for you. First time ever, I would suggest. And someone just broke the news to me. Your name isn't Ross.
That's correct.
And what is your name, young man?
Frankie Mellon.
Okay, we're going to give everybody 60 seconds so you two can have a think here what you're going to say. So the managing director is going to go first. We need to know all about you, whether it be personal or professional or a combination of everything. Tell us all about yourself, young man.
Frankie Mellon, Managing Director at Rolec Services. Been with the business nearly 9 years, historically through a sales role. And then obviously being in the managing director position now, responsible for everything Rolec across all divisions, EV, leisure and marina.
Okay, and we've had some really interesting conversations and how the business has developed and how you've been part of that. And it's an interesting story that we'll come back to. Whisperer, you're up next, Alan. Okay, so I'll just bring it down to your level so everybody can hear us. Okay then, okay. Tell us all about yourself, Alan.
Good evening. So I'm Alan, Head of Training and Culture at Rolec. I've been in the business just over 2 years, predominantly looking after contractors, connecting them, helping them along their way, especially on their journey to being a world-class EV installer. That's the ambition. On top of that, within the team, trying to bring more energy within the business, connecting the team alongside all parts of the business, from the R&D team all the way through to sales.
Okay, I focused in on the word energy there. People are going to be watching this entire live stream. They're going to be expecting you to be bouncing like a gazelle in this one for the energy part of it, okay? So it's going to be coming out of left field, that one is. The culture bit's really interesting. We'll make sure we cover that as well as your world-class training and CPDs that you give away to the actual contractors as well. But we need a contractor, don't we, Dave, in order to make this a level playing field. Tell us all about yourself.
So I'm Dave Costello, founder, CEO of Costelloes EV. We set ourselves up in 2013. Electrical contractors, and we moved quickly into the EV industry. We predominantly do commercial EV installation, solar, battery. Got some nice contracts with Wrexham, we mentioned before. But yeah, that's pretty much what we do. Partnered up with Rolec and let's see where we're going.
We know you're doing brilliantly when we see you on front of the football shirt, don't we? When TikTok's been removed, you've got Costello EV, we know you're absolutely
It'd be
crushing
nice.
it.
Yeah, it'd be
Good
nice.
story as well, isn't it? How we transitioned, isn't
It's
it?
a great story. We've got more of that coming up, but I guess starting on the EV market, obviously.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay.
No. There's a spare chair.
No.
What's going on? A spare chair. We had a mysterious box come today. Now, it said Quantum on it, but when I picked it up, it whinged like an old woman. Okay, and I just don't know what was in it. So eventually, after a while, the box actually appeared and burst open, and inside of that box came out the wonderful Trevor. And Trevor's here today, and you're joining us, Trevor. Oh, yes. So, Trev's here from EV Blocks. Get in there, Trev. Oh, dear me. Yes. Your own action figure. I love it. I'd have loved to have been in an action figure box. Okay, you were a post away one because you couldn't tell what you got in the Star Wars collection. Anyone who collected Star Wars figures, the mail away figure, you often didn't know what you were getting. And this time I got a lifelike figure, about 4.5 inches tall, of Trevor. So how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, good.
30 seconds, because we all heard about you. We cut the time down to match your height, so we cut 30 seconds about you. He's one of your best mates in the industry as well. So, Trev, 60 seconds, tell us all about yourself and your journey.
Yeah, so I started off as an electrician and then set up a company called eVBlocks. We make universal foundations for EV chargers, and we operate now across the globe selling foundations for EV chargers.
Okay, you make it sound incredibly simple, but obviously it's not quite as simple as you think, and we'll dive into your products along with everything Rolec as we go through this stream. First question, Gordon.
First, I mean, the EV market in general. Obviously, you know, you read the press. It depends on which paper you read. It's either absolutely fantastic, or it's if you read the Daily Mail, it's an absolute disaster. What's the market like at the minute, Frank? Give us a feel for what the market's like.
For us, it's booming. It's a very strong industry for us. Of the company, it takes up or makes up 70% of our revenue. Yeah, very demanding. It's an exciting industry, but also very challenging with the amount of changes that come along the way. Overall, yeah, we're glad to be part of it.
You've seen the same thing reflected in your business, because obviously you're at the civil stroke. You're quite specific with the bit of kit that you're installing, obviously, for the EV charger. Are you seeing the same sort of growth?
Yeah, I mean, we're like a niche within a niche, and it continues to surprise us where the demand's coming from. So now we've released the DC product, the demand for that has gone through the roof, and like Frankie says, it's a great industry to work in. It's kind of a very close-knit community between lots of different OEMs and contractors. And I think it's a great industry to be a part of.
Okay. Alan, so you must be having more and more people coming through, taking on your technical support and your training. Is that what you're seeing, or is it all dropping off and no one's bothering anymore?
No, we trained over 1,000 last year, and we'll be on target to achieve that figure or thereabouts this year. And I believe it's now at a point where contractors can't ignore the industry anymore. They're being asked to install, not necessarily just on the larger scale, but also on domestic as well. And there's a mixture out there, so I believe it's a new way for a contractor to earn additional income.
Okay, right, put everyone off now, Dave. Make that really hard. So, Dave, how are you finding the industry? Is it tough to earn a few shilling and you're scratching around and it's not the real... Yeah, it's not great, is it?
No, it's good. It's a good industry to be into. Like I say, if you're an electrician, you want to get into something a bit niche, then this is definitely something to look into, EV. You know, we do probably 98% of all our work is predominantly EV work now. Installation, commercial and domestic.
Okay. Now, there's a really good synergy between your commercial and how it links to your domestic. Just give us an overview how you're possibly getting a lot of your domestic installs now, because you're probably doing a lot more commercial. There's more money, obviously, on the bigger stuff maybe than the smaller stuff.
Yeah, so we do, like I say, we're doing commercial work. So if we're doing, you know, some fleet charging maybe, then, you know, the people who are picking up their EVs, they're charging at work, but then they also want to be able to charge at home. So we're able to then transition to the domestic charging as well. Pick them up from there.
So big commercial one leads to domestic ones.
Can do, yeah.
Now that brings me to a question. Brand new installations. I don't want to say Ross. I'm just looking at you and thinking Ross and thinking tan as well, unfortunately. Now, do you remember the episode? So just tell us, I just want an answer of your location. I don't want any other waffle. Where do you live?
Skegness.
So you're not afraid of a spray tan, are you now? You can't be. With that colour, you're not. Just yes or no? That's a yes. Did you once go in there and just keep shouting and you turned out mahogany and we've just got the after effects of that, Ross?
According to yourself, yes.
He said the banter was all right off that.
Yeah, we're fine with it.
Yeah,
we're fine with it.
So, okay, we're looking at that. Brand new houses, they got to have EV chargers.
Yes, yeah. So anyone with a private driveway has to have a charge point installed. And then in communal parking areas of apartment blocks and resi sites, there's a percentage that has to be fulfilled with then the infrastructure in for the passive install, so they can come and just bolt on chargers in the future. So for us, it's a really good, strong focus area. One of the largest volumes of the makeups are the sales. But of course, with residential, then the value tends to be much lower, very competitive. It's about finding value in different ways rather than just the pound sign associated with the product.
And you had a really good example of that you said earlier on. So what's the example offering that Rolec can give that maybe a new house builder didn't see the first time round, maybe after a period of time and maybe some issues, maybe of coming back?
Yeah, I think with everybody that enters the industry, I mean, many come and go very quickly, but those that come in, they're extremely competitive, or attempt to be extremely competitive. And with the growth, and this is something that Rolec felt in the early years, the growth, you can't really predict it. You of course hope for it, but then the reinforcement behind the scenes in the support that goes with the product, that's something that often lacks. So we've really reinforced the support around our product, from the amount of developers that we have working hands-on, the after-sales team, the contractor relations team, and the training. Of course, we try and educate so we don't get calls and stuff like that when people come to site and installation, but it's going to happen. And we've seen of late, we've spun a lot of customers back around from them jumping because of a pound sign to now being a support-driven decision. They don't want problems. They want to install, or a developer, for example, wants to specify a product, it be installed, and they haven't got customers calling them when they take ownership, tenants taking ownership, and they're having problems.
Were you suggesting there, Gary, that a new house builder might just usually pick the cheapest possible product?
I wouldn't want to comment in case we get one of them come through the
They
door.
might have learned a lesson since that actually it's about a little bit more coloured in. I'll give Rolec due. Rolec, one of the original pioneers in this. If you go back early days of EV, you were probably one of the first, if not the first, in the market.
Well, I just want to say, as I jump in there, the first video, let's show some pictures of it, of me and Joe. We're not in it because we look incredibly young. I don't want people to feel. So that was the first one we reviewed. First ever video we made. We unpeeled that. We looked at the RCD first, and we'll see if you've got an RCD currently built into your device. So as we look at the second picture, we can focus in on that RCD there at the top. And we would suggest the RCD has gone through some, I don't know, improvements throughout the time, not yours personally, but the regulations to do with RCD protection and EV chargers. Then we popped it open, we had a little look inside, and we're seeing things like that. And all of a sudden now, we've got other protection on there for the DC leakage current when it goes above or up to 6 milliamps of DC, and how it's going to be affected. All new stuff back then, 2019 for us. We've got a contactor in there. Now, if we open up a new one, which we'll do at some point, you either can't see any of this, or what you do see on other brands doesn't look anything like this. We've changed a lot in such a short space of time, and it goes with the regulations as well. We're all trying to keep up, aren't we, at the end of the day?
Yeah, definitely. We've put investment into a volume product here. So as you see in the historic unit, it was very modular. There was a lot of labour in that, but then multiple components that you didn't actually have the capability to sense. So the amount of sensors we have on the product now, we can understand what's going on within the hardware. When you're in a modular setup like that, it was quite difficult. But yeah, we've learned a lot over the years, and I think now we've really invested in the technology with installers in mind. That's the primary thing here, the extension of our sales force. Installers at mind, reliability of the product, backing that with a 5-year warranty across the range. So yeah, big difference compared to where we were a few years ago.
And you've gone on that journey as well, Dave. So you've not always been a Rolec person, have you?
No, we've, let's say we went into EV, so we were installing what people would want. If they want a particular brand of charger, then yeah, we fit them. But like I say, when we started winning bigger contracts, we had to get something we knew we could rely on, and also have that support that Frankie mentioned before. It's not always about the cheapest product you can get. Sometimes you definitely need that backup support, and that's what we partner with Rolec.
Yeah, and we're not saying you're priced at the top end of the market. You're priced competitively in that market. You've said that, but it's the backup that gives you, you think, your edge on that. And that's where you come in, isn't it? Because obviously you're managing those people when they're coming to you first of all for that training. Usually it's about how to fit it and get it working. But obviously, in the event of it not working, what can we do?
Direct access to the technical support team. That's key. Also looking into the back office as well, because it's not always hardware specific. It can be software issues as well. So being able for them to be able to look after their customer and the longevity, because we've been in the market for so long, I think that also gives the end client more confidence with the product which hopefully our approved engineers are offering.
Yeah, brilliant. And if we bring in a video before we actually look inside one, let's have a look at the EVO. So we've got a lovely little one here. We don't need to talk over it, folks. So this is how gorgeous these things can start to look, because I'd imagine now customers have been a lot more savvy. The more stuff we put outside, the more it's got to look something appealing, especially to the senior member of the house family. I would suggest it isn't necessarily me in my house, so my other half would be expecting something screwed on the wall to look lovely, and this does, doesn't it? We've got all the technology in there. We'll have a look inside one in a minute, and all the special gizmos. But this looks like a nice piece of art. Ooh, wonder what that is. We'll come back to that in a minute. So that's really interesting. And obviously our connectivity, we'll go through all that as well. But that's a nice looking charger. Okay, we know some of them. What's the word we use to describe some of those ones that when they come in, they're not as easy on the eye, Gordon?
Bit agricultural, Gary.
They are a little bit agricultural.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you've got to be thinking you're going to screw that to the side of your house, and that's what we've got here. Well, we're going to take a look at this. I think Gordon is. I think I'm hand camming for Gordon according to the notes. We're going to pull out the single phase one and have a look at it. You've also got a 3-phase one here as well, and we're going to go through some of those key features and how you've managed to construct such a beautiful design on the Evo. So that's it, all house connected as well. So we know how solar and battery is uber important. So if we come in straight with hand cam when we come back in, we're gonna have a look at one of these young men. So here we are. So he's moving his cup of tea out the way. Right, G-Dog, talk me through it
It's
then.
obviously very different to what we saw in the past.
Yeah, very much
It's
so.
obviously nicely sealed in, but the clever bit is, let's have a look.
Go on, you struggled earlier because you didn't know what you were doing. Come on. Oh, no, that was easy.
Plops out. So you got a separate. There you go. You got a base.
Okay,
There you go.
that's incredibly light.
Even you could fit that, Gary.
Well, I
you
don't
might get it straight with a spirit level.
No, it's in there. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, built in.
Everyone loves one of them. If you roll it round, you can always get it level wherever it is. Okay, so that's a lick and stick down the wall. Okay, and then we've got
The
this bit
actual
here.
Brains of the operation charger, which is a nice modular design. This is a sealed unit. Obviously, pop the cover open, and
Wago connectors, can we say Wago? Are they Wagos?
there are connectors.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Anything else you want to highlight to me? I'd love to know what's under the
Interesting.
screw
Under this.
cap. What's this? Where the fuel goes
Now-
for the engine.
Obviously, there's been loads of controversy. Chargers RCD in, RCD out. This is a full fat RCD with a test button. Because everyone likes a test button. I know you like a test
Oh, hang on.
button.
Whoa, hang on. You're telling me that's an electronic RCD? They're not easy to come up with, are they?
No, it can be a bit challenging.
Yeah, they can. And when you get it wrong, it's easy to see a mistake, isn't it? So we're going to have to dive into that. I want to know whether that conforms. Right, okay, so that's good. And I noticed some funniness on the back of it when you pulled it off. What's happening on the back?
On the
It's
back
like a fuel
hold
cap.
on,
You're not
hold
used to
on.
one now, are you?
No, I'm not. No,
in and
no,
twist.
There we
Yeah,
go.
okay, turn her over.
Yeah.
Oh, right, so what's that? So you didn't slip over?
Yeah. So heat sink on the back.
That's it, yeah.
So why is that there, Frank? Now, it's not something we're used to seeing on EV chargers.
Yeah, so it's one of the things that's often overlooked. Being able to give maximum charge rate is often limited by many things. It could be the back office, it could be load balancing, it could be the vehicle, it can be the charger itself, so the temperature of the control board essentially. With the heatsink, essentially we can guarantee that you'll get maximum charge rate up to 50 degrees ambient temperature. So for really 95% of the markets that we operate in, we've got no concerns whatsoever of any form of derating, and we have all the data and tests to validate this and give comfort that when we're shipping across Europe, and I mean, we're not quite hitting 50 degrees here yet, but might not be too long.
You say that though, but the charger I've got at home at the minute, during the summer, obviously the first person to complain is my wife normally when the car doesn't charge it, like, you know, it's a bit like turning the heating up with a thermostat. If the house doesn't heat up instantly, there's a problem. Spotted that the car's only charging at 4.5 kilowatts.
Yep, happens pretty often.
Yeah.
People.
That's due to the sun beating down on the charger and the fact that it's trying to draw as much current as it possibly can. So I was worried about that. So you never have hot water, but you know you wouldn't turn your shower on in your bathroom for 10 hours.
Exactly.
Because obviously you'd be X, Y, and Z, but you'd be worried about those conductors and it getting really hot in there.
Yep.
Yeah, we haven't had the same thought on EVs. Until now, maybe.
Yeah, as I say, it's been overlooked in the past. Now it's something that we've learned over the years. So we've got multiple temperature sensing points within the product. Of course, if we did ever exceed, we then derate the current to then try and manage that temperature. But yeah, 50 degrees, we're very, very comfortable and confident with that. And yeah, we've got the data to back that up.
That's good. That was new to me. That was brand spanking new when I got it out of the box. Yeah, didn't know what that was. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So you're going for 3-phase, eh?
First, yeah. It's a world first.
World first.
World first. On camera, this is the new, and yeah, Dave hadn't seen this earlier on.
No.
The 3-phase version. There's a few clever bits on there. Obviously, the cover, yeah. See the cover, so there's your contacts to get the fantastic LED lights on the front.
Okay, yeah, good.
On there. These pogo connectors are learned.
Yeah,
Gary, and
Pogo's there. We've got they're on
Have
both.
a little spring mount connect. Now, remember, a lot of chargers, you take the cover off and you end up with like a front cover flopping around on a bit of cable.
Yeah. Normally on one of those ribbon things, and it looks like a
cable, so
bit of licorice.
That's quite nice. And I believe that's the anti-tamper as well.
Yeah, also detects the tamper.
So if you're used to your regulations there, lift the cover off under there. There's your terminals for the 3-phase.
Okay, I'm having a look there. It looks like I've got 2 protective earths. What's the thinking behind that?
So we can basically, with one SKU, cater for UK and European markets.
Right.
Obviously, pen protection in the UK is quite common in most chargers now. But the ability to have that for the UK, but in Europe in one SKU it's not common at all. So it's not just a software deactivation of pen, it's a physical bypass. We bypass the relay with essentially a separate schematic if you go into that earth location.
Because I think we're the only market that has pen fault protection.
Yes.
Are they
Yeah.
using earth electrodes then?
No,
Well, they can-
they've
they
got
can do
reliable
all they've got
electricity
the-
system.
I think they're using earth electrodes. Let's give ourselves some credit here. So now, does that one slip out the back as well?
Same approach, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've done that well.
More weighty, that.
Really?
There's a yeah.
What are the chances? Right, and heat sink as well. That's good.
And an RCD in there as well,
Correct, yeah.
which is a rare beast for a three-phase one. I'll say it's normally people you might get one in single-phase charge, but it's quite rare to find a full fat
Yep.
RCD. And if anyone's priced up a Type B,
Yeah.
a Type B,
Yeah, no, I have.
Yeah.
it's an upsetting process, isn't it?
Can be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that the fact you've got all that protection built into the unit straight away. You just need to protect that cable to the unit, and then it's fully compliant then.
Yeah, but for me, I'm thinking there, if I've got the RCD protected in there, whether it be residential or not, or I took the three-phase residential, we'll come back to that. If I route my cable appropriately, I only need a breaker.
That's exactly, yeah.
So it could eliminate the need for somebody then to have a consumer unit change
Yeah,
necessarily.
This is mostly going to be on a commercial site, so you probably run it in trunking or tray work or surface mounted. You don't need to worry about the RCD.
And residential, same thing. If you route the cable correctly,
Correctly, yeah.
you're going to get away from that. That's pretty clever, that is. Pretty clever indeed. So we like that. So three-phase one. So you come up with a really good plan with the three-phase one, having only just seen it. What was your idea there to get you, in case you have an issue?
Yeah, so we have a contract with Network Rail where we provide all their home start charging, and we've got to fit up to 800 chargers in the next couple of years while they roll out the EV fleet. And some of the properties we may not be able to use the domestic Wi-Fi. So with this unit, now it has 4G connectivity. We could wire that as a single phase unit and utilise that 4G connection.
Right, okay. And that means just using one of the phases, obviously, to do the charging process.
Yeah, then just with our Connect app, our configuration app, you obviously identify that you're only running the one phase to it. Operate single phase, simple as that.
Are we seeing it? Electrically hungry installations now. We've got air source heat pumps coming, we've got EV chargers. Are we seeing more and more three-phase? Is that creeping in yet, or is it still a myth?
Yeah, it's more common. It obviously used to be more on the premium side of the property market, but now as soon as they're adding reasonable amount of solar, battery, air source, most people are biting the bullet and jumping over to three-phase. So it's growing. Obviously, we see the demand obviously in the UK, hence having the ability to still use the pen protection. And then domestically in Europe, it's very common for three-phase.
So I'm sure everyone's envisaging these units being screwed on the outside of a house domestically, whether they be the three-phase or the single-phase one. Are you finding that any of your pedestals are finding themselves into domestic dwellings, Trev?
Yeah, we're finding it more in either high-end residential where they've got pedestals next to the garage or further down the driveway.
Gravel.
Like,
I'm hearing
yeah,
gravel.
big space, and they want it in that place because that's where they park the car all the time. And then also communal parking areas where there's a block of flats. We're seeing
Apartments, Trevor.
Yeah, apartments.
Oh,
Yeah,
these flats. Yeah.
apartments, flats. I'm saying.
Villas. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got a mini version of your block, haven't you?
That's right. Yeah. So we do the EV Block Mini in collaboration with EV Tower, and that is quite popular with the house builders, and then kind of your more smaller builders or niche builders will use our universal products for that same purpose.
We've used it on several sites where the same thing, there's a lot of dry stone walls up here. They want it further down. You've got absolutely nothing you can fix it to, and we've installed your block and the towers in residential settings quite a lot, really. But you're right, there's usually a whiff of gravel, I would suggest, when they're going in on those.
Yeah. An interesting connectivity on the plant. I've got to see the Ethernet connectivity if you want to as well.
Yep. So
you're saying it, yeah.
essentially it's plug and play from a connectivity point of view, also from incoming CTs. We supply the CT with the single phase product. Three-phase it is an optional extra there, but it's got an RJ45 on the end, just plug in, off you go. if you was to utilise a EV Ultra cable, for example, then I think Dave does it pretty often. Obviously, you just then
Split out those spare cores.
Yep.
Split them out, yeah. Connect them back up and figure which one you need, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Is that a game changer, that cable?
EV Ultra? Yeah, 100%. It just gives you a neater job. It's easier to carry one drum of cable that does everything you need.
Yeah.
And for any data installers watching, it's not a call centre that's going on the end of that cable, so you don't necessarily need all the calls, you know. So please just head over to our RJ45 videos and stay there.
Yeah, it's that ramble.
We tend to just use the twin data instead of using the Cat5.
Ah, right.
Yeah, it reduce the cost for us with the number that we install. It's every penny we can save a few pounds over it, because otherwise you're just bending the cores back and they never get used.
Yeah.
If we need to run an Ethernet connection, then we would opt in for that option. But with 4G connectivity and Wi-Fi now,
Yeah.
So you just run a 2-core one.
Yeah, 2-core. Does the job.
Top tip.
And the RCD, obviously fully compliant.
Yeah, so it's a Type A RCD with a 6 milliamp DC device on the board. The Type A side of it's gone through TUV, third-party certification for IEC 60947-2. So yeah, we're fully above board there. And we've made sure, obviously, there's been a couple of brands that have been in
Challenging.
sticky situations. I think naively, or if we want to call it that. So we've ensured we're belt and braces, everything there. And protection's important, right? That's what we call it.
I mean, electricians, you just want clarity that the manufacturer says it meets the standards, and you kind of crack on with the job, don't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Rather than evaporate off the sheet.
Yeah, well, then, yeah, we've reviewed one. I could swear this had an RCD in it last year. And is the test button part of the standard? Is that a...
Yes, a physical test button there.
Right.
I mean, if we go one step further on the three-phase, we've got mechanically coupled RCD on there as well. Right. So we're switching the live and the neutral at the same time. I think a few people, there's a bit of discrepancy there about the coupling.
Yeah.
Running separate relays that then can have a disparity in the time that it engages.
Right. So there you go. Top tip for loads of things we've seen. People say it's got protection in, but if it hasn't got a test button, then it probably hasn't been through the proper stuff.
You heard it here first, I would suggest, unless this live stream's been taken down on the request of Rolec.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all good on those. And on that, so we've got the RCD in there, and it trips on an RCD fault. Everyone's now thinking they're going to have to get the customer out, whipping the cover off with those only 2 screws you've got in there to find some way of resetting it. Is that the crack?
So if you was on the 30 milliamp AC side, it's a reset at source. So we're tripping the power and bringing that back online. If it's 6 milliamp DC, after disconnection, obviously it resets. It's a new vehicle or a fresh connection coming along. That resets then and would basically assess the next connection coming through.
And see if the fault's still there.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a recycle and a remove, one or the other.
Yep.
That's good. So that's straightforward.
Yep.
Because I can see people
Common
thinking,
sense, really, because if the AC's done, it's probably wiring based.
it sure is.
And if it's DC, it's probably something electronic in the car that's...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's very sensible.
I think it is incredibly sensible.
There you go. You can all that now, Trev.
Oh, well done, Trev.
Yeah.
That's heavier than I was expecting.
Well, there you go.
We're going to the questions in a minute, but we did pose one question. Obviously, tethered and untethered. Your units are?
They are untethered.
Okay, all of them.
Well, we can do tethered across our commercial range and so on, but the Evo specifically, it's untethered, but we support a cable lock feature in there. So we do a cable bundle, and it means then people do have the flexibility to take a cable away if they're going travelling, but it's without the upfront cost of a tethered unit. So it's very, very competitive.
How do you get around that, Dave, whether it's untethered? What do you do to help your customer out?
We offer them a Rolec tethered, a Rolec lead.
Markup good on them?
We don't. You can, electrician, you can mark up any way you want, but we offer that as a socket or tethered, and so you can lock it in. We recommend, we tell them if you are going to use it as a tethered and lock that unit in, you need to disconnect it every 3 months.
Ah, right.
Just to clean the contacts, make sure. Okay. And that will help with the warranty.
15 quid, you said your markup was.
Yeah, about that,
15. We practiced this earlier. It's very much about that bit 15.
Well, people say they use the lead out the car, but you've got a brand new EV and you take the lead out. It's rained overnight. You've got to put a wet lead back in the car. So it makes sense to have a tethered unit at home, but this is an option that you can either use your own lead that you have already, or we can add one so you've got a lead permanently attached and wrap around for ease.
Yeah. Okay.
How would you? I mean, I started out thinking tethered was great.
Yeah.
Now I'm untethered all the time, and just because
I've got tethered at home, and it's.
Is it on the floor?
No, it's wrapped up, but I never fully unwrap it. I should do, but I don't.
yeah. By the time I drove over the end and it ripped the lead out the bottom of the charger, I sort of decided that it was probably the tethered option. It gives you that flexibility to easily replace the lead.
We had a customer last year, and he contacted us because he pulled the charger off the wall.
Right.
He parked up in the winter, put the brakes and everything on, and then as he walked away, the car slid down the drive, connected, and just ripped it right out the wall. So yeah.
Can't teach stupid, can you? They just turn up, don't they? Bless them.
Yeah.
Bless them. How
EV
long
cars
before
are heavy.
Hammond rips his off the wall?
Well, now I've got that. No, I've got a telephone style lead now. That's the ones I like. So you
Yeah.
don't have to coil them up. It's yeah.
So we asked for tethered or untethered. There should be some people in the comments. You need your laptop out. I've given you
got
2
them on the
segues
phone
for you.
now.
So you've got your phone now,
Yeah,
haven't you?
yeah,
So
I'm
go
on
with the
the-
comments.
I'm on
in.
the-
Who's leading the leaderboard on your phone?
Ollie, number 2. Who's Ollie? Hold on, let's have a look. In number 1.
We've got super thanks there, I think. Someone's given us some cash.
Gadget Man.
Gadget Man's number
Gadget
one.
Man, that's a regular. Ollie 7673 and Sergio Fernandez from
Sergio.
Costa del Watford.
All right, he's in
There
there
we
as
go.
well. So to see the super thanks, got to give them a shout out. Somebody had a blue thing. It'll be, there it is. You've missed it. If you've missed it again, there you go. What we got?
Gadget Man. There you go. £1.99.
Wow,
There we
thank
go.
you very much. Yes, we'll
Oh, well, yeah.
end the live stream. We're out of here. So we're cashing in early. Right, okay, so we're going to go. We've done the heat sink. So questions, Gordon. So you should be giving them in from there. Are Rolec answering them before us? And what's coming through is the common themes that we've got in there.
I think we've just mopped it up at Rolec in there without the with the untethered tethered. Obviously, you can lock a lead in. That's what. Yeah, I would suggest people do lock the leads in as well because unless you bought it from reasonably priced, they're quite expensive. Yeah. And interesting that there's a feature we've learned on this charger, which we'll come back to on leads later on. We'll get back into the world of commercial.
Yeah. Now, your block goes in the ground. Okay. We talk about future-proofing. That's probably pretty tough. Are you future-proofing your blocks in any way, Trev?
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of installers and CPOs install, 10 or 20 EV blocks in the ground, install 10 chargers, and then once the utilisation, they can seal on the back end, then they'll spend the capex for the extra 10 chargers on top. And the adapter plates are ready to be drilled and fit the chargers too.
You've altered over the years. Every time we speak to you, that plate has got another evolution, and it's changed again now, hasn't it? What's your plate now doing for us?
Yeah, so we started off originally with the aluminium, and then we've moved to a composite product now. And since that, initially with that composite product, you had to drill the hole in the centre or wherever your cable entry was with a hole saw.
Yep.
That'd take a little bit more time than what we really wanted for installers. So now in the centre of each adapter plate is a knockout.
Let's have a look. Bring your mock-up one. We'll look at the original one. So if you want to flick this one out, I've got it out. So you take that one. So this is one of your blocks. I don't think it's as deep as it should be. Is that right?
That's right, yes. This is just a cross-section for trade shows.
Okay.
The normal block is 400 millimetres deep.
Yeah.
And
okay.
this is...
That's not 400 millimetres, is it? Yeah. Okay, so we've got this in the centre now, and you've got one there to show us. So looking at that, that's completely different than anything we've ever seen before. It's composite now. Obviously, that's a non-slip, non-corrosive block. EV blocks on there. And just show us what we can do as a contractor now on your actual plates themselves.
Yeah, so underneath is marked out with lines at 10 millimetre increments as well for when you're marking out at the back. And then when you're ready to put your cable through, it's literally just a knockout, ready to pass that cable through there, drill your holes for your fixing arrangement for the chargers.
Okay, so we're talking about going to tower on here, EV tower again, going on top of your EV
or
blocks.
Rolec Quantum, or whichever charger you desire to put on top. Just speak to us first, but we've only found one charger or one AC charger that won't fit our AC product range.
Okay, fine, that's good. Clever. So that's another step forward. You can't believe in some ways that you can keep innovating, but every time I see you, Trev, you've done something different, mate, so which is great. Here we go, we're back in. Again, in the comments, have you ever fitted an EV block? Have you fitted an EV tower? Are you currently fitting a different make of EV charger and you're thinking, hang on a minute, I like what Rolec is saying here, and I certainly love the fact that we're going to get to this wonderful support and training you get. just bang it in the comments. And maybe the people sitting at home for Rolec can obviously help you if you want to come onto one of those training days. They happen, what, once a year, your training?
No, twice a month.
Twice a month?
Yeah.
That's every 2 weeks then?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. So, yeah.
Whereabouts geographically?
So based at our HQ in Boston,
Yeah.
but for the larger contractor, then we physically visit their sites as
That's
well.
not Massachusetts, is it?
No, but, you know, I'm open to jumping on a plane.
Yeah, good. Good man. So again, yeah, we can get that. Hopefully, if people want that, we'll be piling into the comments. Is there a link in the description for anything to do with training? Or are we expecting the Rolec team to do that?
You can drop a link into the comments if you want. Yeah. How do you get on the training? You just...
Yeah, they can just contact us through the normal channels or even via myself or my colleague Emily Holland on LinkedIn.
All right, there we go. Okay. There we go. That's it. Emily's going to be popular now.
She is. Yeah, she
It's
is.
very popular.
And they're responsive as well. We found if we ever need an issue, if we have a problem on site or anywhere with, and it's a Rolec, product, we can give a call and they do.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Refreshing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and that's why you've moved them. At the end of the day, you've been through all the pain. We've had that pain off camera, and you've obviously named and shamed a few people, which you won't do on here.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be sitting here today if you weren't backing this, would you? You're in it for yourself at the end of the day.
I say with what we're doing with Wrexham, I'm sure we'll talk about it a bit, but we're invested into what we've bought from Rolec, and we get that support from them. So it's good. It's a good partnership.
It is good. If we just bring your slide up. We've got a lovely slide that we've put together for your business so people can sort of appreciate what you're actually up to. So that's the commercial stuff that we're going to go on to next. So you've gone from a 7 kilowatt, 7.2, 7.5 kilowatt on the side of a house, and now we're at this level. That transition is great. And I would hazard a guess there's probably a few pound notes more to be made in that. But wait for it, folks. When we look at the second half, he actually does it for free. Hold that thought. He actually does it for free. Now, talking of free, I like winning stuff. So let's go over and have a look at Klein and DeKlein. Let's bring it in.
So it's that time of the show where we find out if our guests Klein and DeKlein and if they've got any electrical background. So we've got our Alan here. Alan, what's your role at Rolec?
Head of training and culture.
Okay, so that automatically to me kind of screams I've come to work in Bermuda shorts, nice Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops. Is that the case?
That's the one, very relaxed.
Did you Klein or DeKlein?
I climbed.
You Klein, and how were the tools in the hand?
Felt great.
So if you think Alan did well, then get your times in the comments below. I'm going to move on to Frankie. Klein or DeKlein?
I climbed.
And how were the tools?
They felt great, yeah.
Yeah?
For a tool like me, the tools work well.
And electrical background?
Very limited.
You're from a wonderful part of the world, yeah?
Yep, Skegness.
So if you think it's Frankie, get the time in the comments. Okay, moving on to Big Dave. Now, everyone's got a mate called Dave, and everyone's then got a second friend called Big Dave. Yeah. So you're Big Dave. Dave, did you Klein or DeKlein?
I climbed.
You Klein, how were the tools in the hand?
Girthy.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were nice.
What is your background?
Oh, I'm an electrician.
If you think it was Big Dave, get that in the comments as well.
I would suggest, Gordon, that's probably the most difficult name to pick out the three of them to see who you think might be the fastest amongst the three of you, Dave. Now, if you were a betting man, who would you put your safe money on for this?
I always back myself, but if it was me, I'd definitely go for Alan.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, me too. So, folks, do not be hoodwinked by haters as you get your name in first and time in order to win the prize. If you win the prize, you get a chance to see Jenny. Bring the graphic up. We've got a lovely graphic here. Here we go. So we've got it up. So we're on the 60 seconds, G.
Yeah, let's get them in. Some time's coming in, and people are just edging a little bit, just a touch.
To David.
Towards David.
No Rosses in there, is there?
No surprise.
There's no Rosses there. But remember, these things can backfire, folks. Everyone's at wild cards. If you were just to put the name of the other person, and they did become fastest, you'd win.
You win, yeah. Because no one's gonna back anyone but you, David.
Yeah.
It's good. I can't wait. I love to set people up.
Do you?
Yeah. It's just gonna be, yeah. Oh, Ross, he's come out the traps and won it. So get your time in, it's a chance to win. If you win, you get a chance to ring Jenny, you'll get the phone number, and you'll get a chance to ring the burner phone, and we'll send you out a prize in the post. So that's got to be worth it, isn't it, folks, as you go through. Remember, you're trying to get the leaderboard as well, so this counts as another one of your comments, trying to drive yourselves above Gadget Man, who's currently won. Remember, when you hit the top spot, you must make a donation to us via the, what's it called? The, I don't know what the link's called, where we get money. What do we get them free money on? I don't know what it's called.
Free money?
Free chat thing, what it's called. Rex, I don't know. We'll carry on without us. Okay, folks, you should be in by now, and we're off and ready. It's a little bit different this week, and we have no idea what's coming our way because we haven't seen it as always. Here we go then, folks. So the 3 race halls. It was Al's up, Al, Frankie's and David's up. So, okay, we've got a little bit different going on here. So we're in with Alan first. That was
Power there, wasn't there?
Why? So Ross is down at the socket outlets, and so is David.
Everyone's managed to get the socket off.
Yeah, kept the screws in place as well. Here we go. Now let's have a look at this.
Twist,
more twisting.
Oh.
Hey! That is clowns there. Oh, it is absolute
There's a few
gold.
seconds for you, Al.
Right, Ross. Now my money's on you, Ross. I think you're in with a bit of a chance.
Struggling there. New cables come in.
Oh, Frankie, man.
You definitely set me up on this one.
Oh, there's the pro. There's the pro. Does it for a living. Bit of tape. Look at that. One finger, folks. We're up. Finally, Alan's got it up. No, no, finally.
No.
Oh,
look at this twisting shot.
Oh, yes. Let's go again. Here we go. Wow, sometime later. What are we doing now? I said to you, if you can't get it in the bottom hole, it's never going to come out the top. Did you do it? You did it.
Yeah, we've got there.
Look at that. How much are you going to have to pull through to get rid of the twist? Look at that. It's a serious amount of twisting. Okay, we're back on with Ross. So here we go.
More twist.
Yeah, he's been listening though, folks. He got the magic. I said if it's difficult to get in, it's going to be difficult to get out. Yep, we still can't get it in. No. I imagine a bit of clever editing there as we come through. So we're all, no, I don't think you're up, Alan. You're not in the board yet, Alan. You're a bit
we're back out the board.
This is, wow.
Chop the end off.
Wow. Gee, we went out at this point. Look, I wouldn't smile. Notice the teeth, folks. The tan and the teeth came from Turkey. So here we go. First time. It's a masterclass. It's an absolute masterclass. Yep. So, hang on. Yeah, look at that. He's using the handle. Yeah. Okay. And we're back up at the board. This is Alan. This is uncharted territory for you.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Look at that.
Oh, Copper City. You've got to be Geller in that one, haven't you? Everyone's thinking that. Frankie's in the board. Okay, just remind me, Frankie, what's the name of the brown conductor?
Sorry?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely nothing. You're too concerned here about your time. Socket's done. Just the 3 connections in the board. Ease to his feet. Here we go. A man in his tool. Here we go. Side cutters were changed now. What are we going? This should be good. This should be good. Oh, wow, that was good. That was good. And now we're back with the same tool again. What's happening now? Oh, now we're back in. Is this Frankie? Frankie's up next. Have you done the board, Frankie?
I have.
Oh, this is looking better than expected. Here we go. Alan's wife's looking on, feeling disappointed. Oh, look. Oh, we've got the hair shot. No one's losing their hair.
This felt lovely.
It's terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible. About time you changed that oil, though. So, yeah, as we go now. No decent wristwatches either, so we're all on the... little one for the ladies! Little smile for the camera, loving your style there. So we're thinking David's finished first, but remember, we love to hoodwink you. We're thinking Alan's finished second, and we think Frankie's finished third. And I think we're going to be surprised. Okay.
Good, yeah.
It was good. Different way of doing it. So we're trying to mix it up with folks. Obviously, we've got 3 to get through. I think that's a different way of doing it. Leave your comments again. Was that a good idea or a bad idea? Remember, we haven't watched it before, and so, again, as we're flicking around, we've got to learn how to manage that process.
That was fun, actually. That was fun. Just people want to clarify, you don't actually do the training, do you?
No, I have a great lead engineer called Sasho.
Yeah, you just manage the training and make sure the right people are doing it. Yeah.
I just make the coffees.
You're the culture man,
just a bit of...
Absolutely.
Yeah, just people... just wanted clarification in the comments. Right, let's have a look at some times, guys. Let's go and see this. Everyone's nervous here. This clammy hands dotted around.
Trev's not done it, folks, because he's been here before and done it, so that's why Trev...
You did quite a long way down, 2/3 of the way down. So
you were low on the board, you had to put it on yourself.
Oh, there you go, 421.
That's good.
How many tries have you had?
So obviously someone's going to want to beat Trevor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone from Wales?
I have marked the ones in. We've got 3 people from Wales in.
Okay, fastest Welsh person.
Yeah.
Okay. That's aspirational, I would say.
Yeah.
You got anyone else from Skegness?
You could be the fastest person.
Yeah, with a spray tan.
Right.
That's the only award I'm going to get.
They're smile. Come on, give us a little smile, little cheeky smile with that tan. That is Turkey. Have you been to Turkey ever?
I haven't been to Turkey, no.
Yeah. No. Is the hair your own and all?
It is.
Yeah. Doing well, ain't you? Some good genetics. I would say
We'll
mum and
start
dad
with
must be gorgeous.
Yeah,
Who are we starting with?
Yeah, Alan.
Alan.
Yeah, Alan.
Alan, how do you
Side
think?
of the room.
Yeah.
I think you don't.
Right, I'm at the wrong side of the room. Yeah.
Yeah, probably didn't make the board at all.
No, you did. You
did make the board. You did
did
make
the first time.
and you've saved me a job. I don't need to bend down tonight, but I'm shuffling around here.
Oh no.
It's actually it's
Oh, it's not too bad.
it's fair enough.
You didn't beat the one-handed girl that was 12, which is a bit embarrassing
No,
for
you
you.
actually did this in 7 minutes 23, actually, which is that's electrical admin sort of territory because we've got Andy Wigg from Schneider Electric there. So you're sitting in amongst
I'll take that, I'll take that.
solid, solid back office support territory there.
I'm not going to dress it up. That was rubbish.
Yep.
First run was 12, 13 minutes.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe
Who's next?
23.
Up? Is it David?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, we'll do that. That's
Dave. You're feeling a little bit more competitive, and you've got a big set of shoulders on you.
More
As well.
competitive with myself, really.
You're a football man or a rugby man?
I played ice hockey for years.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so
They start a fight before the game, don't they?
Yeah.
So what would you like? Be honest with us now.
I'd like to be Trev, to be honest.
Oh, set a low bar there.
Just looking at that though, I didn't realise there's two boards. At least I'm on the main.
Oh yeah,
board.
you're in electrician territory. I mean, anything in the
Rub it into
format.
Alan.
Yeah, sorry, Al.
Here we go.
Well, there is some good news actually. You are on this board. That's a bit of good news, and you are actually faster than Trevor, which is a double. Well done. And you're not in outrageous territory either. So you can hold yourself. Has you got that?
How many you move now? Isn't
Yeah, I'm going to have to be shuffling down here. Actually, some big names moving down. Respectable. Richard Brook drops
He's
down.
gone.
He's another.
Just do your best you can, son.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a shuffle around. Tell Rick in here. Look at it. It's all turned out.
Right.
Oh.
We're in level pegging with the tidiest electrician in Britain.
Yeah, Carl Mathers. Went out of
3 minutes 50.
Well done. That's a great time. That's a great time.
Very much.
Fastest ice hockey around the borders.
And I would like to point out, all of the marker pens are back on the cable box. Someone's fessed up and put them back there.
Okay, Hammond. He's took them home again.
Back in. Yeah. Interesting. Hammond made the labels today, and a bit like
microscopically
a microscope. He's like, it's like as if he's on tape. It's not. It isn't not like our electricity with gay
You're looking over on this board.
I am actually. There's some more good news. You are actually on this board. Yeah.
Same, Frankie.
Is he really?
He is on this board.
Never used a screwdriver before.
But I don't know for how long, Gary.
Right, okay.
So I'm going to be down here. Yeah, well, now we're shuffling some
we've got a
people
couple to
down.
move.
Yeah, a few. You. Dr. Robert goes down there.
Any of them
In
electricians?
there.
No.
No. 5 minutes and 8. So there we go.
Ah, fastest man with a spray tan. Love it. Absolutely brilliant. That was really good. But joking aside, though, obviously, Frankie, you did used to be in a Friends tribute act before you're moonlighting at the start of your career at Rolec, weren't you? You said that to us earlier, that you did play Ross Geller in that tribute act. Is that correct?
Again, according to yourself, yes.
Yes, we'll stick with that. I've got a feeling work might be sticking with it when you get there, especially behind your back. You'll be getting the Friends calendar.
The group
and all
chat's
that.
already started.
Is it really? That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. That's good. Right, Gordon, you're on your phone. You're texting your wife, or you
No,
finding
I'm
out
just
next
seeing,
section
I'm
as I was
just seeing what
segueing?
there. Seeing who's won there. Sergio Fernandez.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
Fastest.
Yeah,
He'll be
well done.
calling in soon.
Yep.
A regular viewer.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's good.
Right, opportunities now. Opportunity means we've got to probably level up a bit. We've probably got to get to the bigger infrastructure. Journey. What was the leap that said to you that residential's all right? You did residential through COVID and things like that. Obviously, when the grants were floating around,
Yeah.
grants sort of dried up a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, the OZEV home grants were great, and we pushed ourselves to a point where we were fitting over 100 chargers a month with 3 electricians. So we were good. We are good. We're not
Fast.
Yeah, it was
Expensive.
but it was still everything we were doing. We were getting the reviews as well. So it was backed up by the Trustpilot 5-star reviews, and it just felt right to just keep pushing that and concentrate purely on EV. So we started looking at the bigger tenders that were out there, started bidding on them. We're only a small company. And yeah, we won a contract with Network Rail for the EV infrastructure, for the home start work, and we also had a bid in for Wrexham. We had 2 bids in for Wrexham. One was to replace the distribution boards in the council-owned properties, upgrade boards, and the other one was their public EV charging infrastructure contract, if you like.
Could be further apart, I would suggest. On
Yeah,
those two.
and it was funny. We were training at the office on the Network Rail contract. So I was training the team on how to commission the chargers onto Monza for the subscription, and Vicky in the office came out and said, "Oh, you've won the Wrexham contract." So I said, "Oh, which one?" And she said the EV one, which is the one we wanted because that's what we've been pushing to do. So yeah, so we had that conversation with Wrexham on the first meeting, and I think it was originally a 10-year contract, and they wanted to push it up to 25 years. So we settled on a 15 with a rolling 5. And the way we've done the contract with Wrexham is they secure funding through Welsh Government Transport for Wales, levy funding. And then we use all of that funding to get the infrastructure in the ground, any substation upgrades, connections. We use EV blocks. We future-proof car parks, so we'll run all the ducting in one go. We put in the EV blocks that we know we're going to use straight away. And the beauty about the EV block is we can go back in 2 years' time, dig up that track where we've got ducting in, and with the shape of the block, we can just drop it straight over the ducting. And then we can reinstate that section there, so we can either put them in ahead of time or put them in later. So yeah, so all the funding that they secure goes into the infrastructure which they own, and then like you said, the free issue.
So I wasn't joking now.
No.
You don't charge, do you?
No. So we supply everything above ground. So it's all of the charging, the signage, the bay marking, everything to do with the overall end product, if you like, is all supplied by me. I get a bit out of breath when I talk about this.
Just stop, just take a little deep breath there. Just want to say, if you think you can beat him on price, good luck. Okay? Good luck. Yeah. But there is big money in it, but you've got none of it. So your poor old wife, who's Vicky, who didn't want to be on camera, that was down in Mastavs. You want to see, Dave's wife?
Yeah. So what we partnered with him, because again, a lot of the thing was with EV. It's collaboration, it's partnerships. It's this industry is in an infancy at the moment, and it's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. More and more people are adopting electric vehicles, and yeah, you can charge at home, but if you're going to travel, you're going to need to top up somewhere, and you need to be topping up on the DC units. So what we've done, and we know that it's going to grow, is we do a 50-50 profit share with the council. So that's where we will get our money back through the forward charging over the next few years.
Not this week.
Not this week, no. So it's like you say, when you're gambling, only gamble what you can afford to lose. So yeah, so we're not frugal with what we do, and we know what we can afford. We size the right charger for the right location. We don't just throw in the biggest DC we can get. We look at what's the usage, what are people going to use it for. So if it's residential car parks outside the city, then we'll go with maybe 7s and 22s. Right. We will put a DC into a town that we know there's going to be some usage on it. But the city centre stuff, we look at putting in a DC as much as we can, because that's going to support the EV taxi industry, the NHS vehicles, police vehicles moving forward, delivery van drivers and visitors to the city.
We'll come back to what part of the infrastructure you do and which parts, obviously, other people do. Mm-hmm. Trev, unlimited credit on the EV blocks now, are they? So we've just fitting the EV chargers for free. You chipped in as well. Are you throwing those? Yeah, you get your money up front, don't you? That's a touch of luck, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I've got to stay in business, mate.
Yeah, I know. DC ones. So obviously, when we say your AC and DC blocks, we're just talking about a bigger block, longer length of block. Yes. How many of them are going out now? What's happened over the last 12, 18 months since we last see a comparison to that DC? From zero to where are we now? What are we growing at?
Yeah, so in terms of the DC foundation that we're doing, that's another universal product. We're seeing about 80% of the DC chargers currently on the market will fit onto that universal block, the B800. First of all, we're selling maybe 5, 10 a month. Now we're into sort of probably 40 or 50 foundations a month.
Right, okay. That's a 4x.
Yeah, and we're seeing that continue to grow. Like next year, we think that's going to double.
Right, every month.
And just get over that, it's a big infrastructure to when people talk about multiple DC charge, that's a lot of power, isn't it?
It is, and you've got time delays as well, which again was why the EV block is so good, you know, for us as installers, because you don't just show up on site and everything's ready to go. You've got a, you know, DNO connections, you've got the civil side, you've got traffic management. There's all sorts of things that play into it. So, you know, instead of just leaving a plinth with some ducting sticking out the ground for the next couple of weeks or months sometimes while you're waiting for the substation connection, we can put an EV block in, a DC block, and put the lid over it, and it's completely safe.
Oh,
you know, it's not a trip hazard. There's no one's going to fall into it. It's fixed and secured. And then when we're ready to put our connection in, we just pull our cables in and go ahead.
So we talked about what part you did. So you talked about transformer upgrades. I take it you don't touch that?
No. Obviously, we work closely with, in Wrexham, it's SP Energy Network, so we work closely with them. Our civils teams will dig right up to the connection point, so, you know, Spen will come in and do that final connection, but we'll do everything else, the ducting, the cable pulls.
It's almost laying there ready for them.
Yeah, it's pretty much the pit's open, ready. It's all scheduled for, you know, it'll be open, so it's open for the day before, fenced off, ready, do the connections, backfilled the same day.
Wow, that is a slick operation.
It's got to be, you know, because we've got to keep things moving and we need to get these chargers up and working. So.
And how big was the Wrexham contract? How many you got to do over that whole period of time?
There's no set number of how many we need to do. We've got 108, I think, chargers now across Wrexham. There's 8 or 9.
I've got a picture. You got your name on them. Let's just have a look. This is great. I mean, this must cheer you up. Well, it's either cheer you up or terrify you every time you go past.
This is a different site. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's.
We've got the montage from the start, haven't we?
Yeah. Is that the one we originally showed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one we showed at the start. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So that's yeah.
So we co-brand it again, working with Rolec. They help us with the branding. You can see the EV block on the street charger there. That's on King Street in Wrexham. It's by the bus station. We've got the EV block. It's nice and level with the modular sets. And we've also introduced the bollards, which are provided by EV block as well.
Just on winning that contract, was it like a gulp moment? Like it was like, yay, we've won the contract. Then, yeah, we've won the contract. Actually, how am I going to deliver it?
Yeah, there was you know, I won't lie, we've had some sleepless nights, but you know, it's one of those things. It's the amount of stuff we're putting out. We use Clenergy for our back office, mainly because of the Welsh speaking the Welsh language on the app. And we can track what our usage is, and we can see month on month we've got a 40 to 60% growth, and that's across the board, across the charge points.
So you are effectively the charge point operator, right? Yeah. The council aren't doing that. That's
council they you know we've peppercorn leased all of the car parks for 25 years, I think it is. So we've effectively we own the car park, we're releasing the car parks off them. And we manage everything, so you know, all the maintenance, all the infrastructure, all the design. We just liaise with the council, the decarbonisation team, stakeholders, and regular meetings. There's lots of things we're looking to do. We're hoping to bring in some discounts for resident chargers as well. So if you're a Wrexham resident, you might be able to get a discount. So using our infrastructure will be cheaper. Yeah. It's not going to be cheap as you would do as charging at home, but some people don't.
Between midnight and quarter past midnight. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's what everybody wants, isn't it? As an EV driver, you want that 7 pence, 6 pence charging overnight, where you can charge a vehicle for £7 or £8. It's ideal, isn't it? But unfortunately, some people don't have that opportunity to do that with terrace homes, and even with narrow footpaths. It's hard to get something across. So if we can offer good quality, usable charges at a fair rate, then it's something that it's going to help with the uptake of EV.
Because you're the operator, you're caught up in the public charge point regulations as well and all that.
Yeah.
On receive. Yeah. And I didn't realise until you said it in Wales, you've got to have a Welsh call centre.
That's why again, and they come up with, I'm sure Frankie will say, with regulation changes across the industry, you don't get the same amount of time to implement them as you would do with a change in the regulations book. You're talking months to get things changed. As the regs, you get, like a year normally or a bit longer. So, so anything in Wales, we need to have Welsh, English signage, any written literature or any apps or anything needs to have a Welsh option. And again, the call centre needs to be a Welsh speaking option. Which is rightly so, it's their country, so...
Yeah, no. It's the same in Newcastle. You've got to have someone with an accent. When when you're up there. So it's,
as long as you're not from Middlesbrough.
Yeah, as long as you're not from Middlesbrough. But I'd say that's an inspirational story for everyone watching that journey. And brave, I'll give it that. I mean, if everything goes in your favour, it's
If Trump gets in over here.
Yeah. Oh, we won't go political. We won't
Can
go
you
political.
put petrol pumps on top of them, Trevor?
That's up to you.
Business-wise, you can see potentially a little bit less effort to make that than this, and obviously some of the ones we saw that were big. Talk us through how Rolex process is, obviously, with the number they can manufacture compared to perhaps the smaller units that we're used to seeing residentially.
We actually ran the exact numbers. So from a business on the EV front, just on the EV front, obviously leisure marina is a big part of what we do, but obviously today we're talking EV. So say 70% of the EV revenue then comes from commercial.
Oh, right. Okay.
But the volume is obviously higher in the residential or home charging market. Of course, value is very low in this. Margins are very low compared to when we get to commercial. Doesn't mean we're charging too much in the commercial space and there's loads to cut off. It just, we've got many more hours in the build, of course, less automated. And the reason being is I don't think we've got a shot of the full range of products, but we have Quantum's just one pedestal that we do.
Behind it there,
We have
on the poster there.
We have 3 pedestals in the EV space that's on an AC, and we can offer, in our latest pedestal, the Hex, we can do 4 22 kilowatt sockets in a single pedestal. So we think of the efficiency then on from a block to an installation to cable coming in, we start bringing those extra savings. But the build process, you've got to have serious volume in product that size to become automated. So we're still got the manual side of the assembly and wiring and everything, testing and so on. But yeah, we're commercially is where we align ourselves as a business. A bit like Dave mentioned, the domestic stuff that we pick up tends to be off the back of the commercial contracts that we win. So it could be 25 offices, 50 offices around the country, or fleet sites, front of house, back of house, and then those employees all dispersing home. We then support the charging at home. We don't install ourselves. We utilise partners, so we don't compete with any of our customer base, which lots of players do, and that then backfires. And we also, and some people say it's a bad thing, but we stick to the model. We don't sell directly to the installers either. So we distribute through electrical wholesalers. Again, we don't compete with our customer base. So a very clear, focused message. Our goal on the commercial stuff is to get product specified, working on new developments, and then some of the bigger tenders. Without naming the name, the largest commercial fleet in the country is installing our product right now in a kind of still under silence and wraps, but you'll see soon that we've managed to secure some pretty big statement names over the last few months.
And that was all down to you, Alan. So, which was great. Which, people are too modest. Are you finding now that you're having more and more people coming after the commercial sector on the training, or is it still heavily residential and then you see a sprinkling of them come back to be the new Daves?
I think we're trying to inspire where Dave was for them to get obviously to his status now. The change is now being, can we get into this commercial space, but how do we leverage? How do we scale the business? How do we get more engineers on board? Potentially use our network of approved contractors around the country to enable these projects to go ahead. However, these are what I call the diary fillers. The residentials, the ones, the twos, in between, especially if you're waiting or you're delayed on a commercial project, is great because at least you're bringing some sort of income in rather than the guys just cleaning the vans and not doing anything for days on end.
Yeah. Is there anything you've developed that can help an electrician installing this to make their workflow a lot better? We know there's lots of third-party apps and that. Is there anything you can provide them?
Yes, we've had a pretty extensive development on our configuration. It started off as a configuration app. It was Rolec EV Connect. It's now Rolec Connect. That takes electricians from end to end of, they could be literally driving down the street in their van. They see an opportunity, they create a lead within our app. They take that through the stages of surveying, into installation booked, the actual physical installation taking place. And then post-installation, they've got all this visibility of the survey history who the contacts were at the time that they went to site, what was the particular demand, because they've logged that all within the system. It protects them in case anything ever goes wrong in the future. People point at chargers because they consume so much energy, but they've got the data there. So we do recommend putting some sort of load management monitoring device on with the bigger installations. And then we take them through to post-installation support, maintenance, and even warranty repairs. And something that we've done on our commercial range is if they perform the maintenance within our app for year 1, 2 and 3, they get year 4 for free in warranty. And then if they again perform at year 4, they get the 5th year warranty for free. And the reason why we did that is because when product goes wrong, it's because it's never looked after. You have no maintenance whatsoever, there's no support on the product, and you have an unhappy customer at the end of the line that's maybe arguing 2 or 3 months within warranty. But for us, it actually costs less as a business to give the extended warranty, knowing the product's being supported. And it gave the installers an annual opportunity to upsell more product, bring in additional services. So it might be the solar, the battery conversation, it might just be reworking on the site. So that was a huge investment for us. It was 12 months, really, development for an 8-man team. It's still ongoing. That team has grown from when it started. It handles the product from start to finish.
I like the visualization one where you can actually show the customer what their chargers are going to look like in situ in real time, which is really clever. Now, I'm going to get it in because everyone else will be. This is the bit where you're going to throw a subscription model out there. And here we go, folks.
No, there's no subscription.
How much so?
Nothing. No cost.
True.
Shrewd
Free.
man, yeah. You're a shrewd man, aren't you?
Yeah, it's great. I'm rubbing off on everyone now.
You're fitting for free.
Got a free meal.
Free meal. I fit free charge. You got a free meal and a free app.
It's one of those things that there are smaller organisations that don't operate any sort of CRM system. One of the training sessions that we do is sales and marketing. And we're trying to educate them on basic things, level of impact versus of picking the phone up rather than sending an email, that kind of engagement with people. And we're trying to then build that into the app. So in turn, they're an extension of our sales team. We want them to operate how we would operate our own sales team. So we're giving them the tools and we're going to sell more product off the back of it. It's all about brand loyalty for us and giving them those tools free of charge versus paying X amount per month per user. It's a massive saving. And I mean, with most contractors that then come in for training and understand the full package of what we can offer, immediately start weighing it up. If I fit that brand of charger, it costs me X amount per month to have the users to be able to manage the CRM element, that's the leads and so on. Whereas if I go to Rolec, I don't have that cost. So it's not only a pound sign of a product, it's a pound sign of the services behind the scenes that people don't take into consideration.
We've seen some chunky numbers for them. Alan, sales and marketing, how does it feel when a bunch of electricians come to you and you're going to do as a business sales and marketing? Is that something refreshing to them, or do they already think, I'm brilliant at selling, I'm brilliant at marketing myself? What's the feeling?
They don't. They're really confident with tools in their hands. But when it comes to communication, speaking with their clients, and what that journey looks like, they will all say they're pretty much terrible. So it's sitting them down, discussing how they can get repeat business, how they can retain their customers. So essentially what we want them to be able to do is sit down, even at boardroom level at times. We do support them, but we want them to be able to do this themselves, offer the best solution by listening to their customers, future-proofing these sites for long-term vision. And essentially it's giving them the confidence that they're going to be able to look after their customers all the way through. And I believe the market has been ignored from installation because a lot of it's fit and forget.
Right.
And that's it, I've done my job, I've put power to it, I've done my initial test, that's it, certificate and leave. Rather than, well actually, can I leverage this customer? Am I able to even offer a maintenance package for them? You know, there's a lot of people out there.
You know, simple things.
Yeah, it isn't. To be honest, there's even a lot of installers out there not actually going through a handover pack and saying, if you've got an issue, this is what it potentially could be, i.e. plugging in your vehicle, the vehicle doesn't initiate a charge because your car door's open. So for someone that's new to EV driving, they're going to constantly be on the phone to the installer or to us because they're not being educated. So it's being able to say, would you like us to take care of all this? We can handle those calls, especially on a fleet. So it's looking at the bigger picture, and normally they look gobsmacked and go, I'm no longer just a tradesman.
Yeah.
I'm a business operator.
And I love that. I've never heard any other company do sales and marketing. Of course, how much did it cost us?
Absolutely nothing.
Well, you've got a terrible business model between the three of you. You just give me stuff away. Eh?
We don't make
Trev's
money.
got the right idea. If Trev needs a business card, he sells his stuff, you know. Sales and marketing. You're an electrician, aren't you, Trev? Yep, so sales and marketing must have been something you were incredibly good at, obviously, when you started your business, and you've been flying ever since. Is that true?
No. And I think that is the trap we are all sold on. Become a great electrician, do great work, but have no idea about how to attract new business. You go out to friends and family and a bit wider, people you know, but actually you need to be getting people to ring you and getting your message out there. And you're not taught that at college. You're taught how to hang a fuse board or, terminate an SWA or terminate some pyro. They probably don't do that anymore, but you're not taught the skills to make the telephone ring and the email ping for inquiries for you to pay your mortgage. And I think that is an important piece. It's a great offering from Rolec to be able to do that.
Would you say the mortgage is probably the biggest bill that an electrician's going to have?
That and the cable bill.
Coffee bill.
I just thought his divorce would have been dearer. I just sort of led me to that one. But now you're in a position, because we've seen you from the start. Dad was doing the blocks with you in the garage. You'd moved the old motor vehicle out of the way. Your cart went out the corner. You spent hours and hours, and obviously a lovely relationship went out the window. You've now employed your second salesperson, though.
Yeah, so, and that was the learning from electrical contracting to doing EV blocks, is like actually marketing is really important. So the last 2 to 3 years of my electrical business, we started to really lean into marketing and learn a bit more about the customer journey, them looking at us. And then I kind of transferred those skills and that knowledge into EV blocks. So it took me 8 years to hit just under £1 million with my electrical contracting business in terms of revenue.
Wow.
We've done that in 5 in EV blocks world. And the only reason we'll be able to do that at that pace is because we know that little bit more. We learned those lessons the first time around.
Wouldn't it have been great if you'd have had even some help, some point in the right direction? Not everyone's as good as you, Dave. So when we've left this and you've gone, we'll say you're a brilliant talker and a brilliant person. We don't get many guests as converse as you do, and obviously you're so business driven, because you're not on the tools really anymore, are you?
No, I've kind of stepped away from the tool. Again, it's one of the, I've found that it's more beneficial for my business for me to be speaking to clients. Speaking to clients, speaking to councils, speaking to Welsh Government, whoever I need to speak to and get things moving. And then we employ the right people to do the right jobs. Vicky, she manages the office, she's the operations director, and she and her team, they schedule everything in, they organise the teams, the lads, materials, everything. So yeah, I've got a pretty good job now.
Yeah.
Just kind of sit back.
Yeah.
But it's... yeah, like you're saying, with the marketing and everything else, you're not taught any of that. You just think, I'll put a couple of pictures on Facebook and then people are going to come and ask me to do charges for them, and it doesn't work that way. You've got to invest money into it. You've got to put advertisement out, leaflets, things that, something people can hold on to and read it. Because if it's on a Facebook ad, as soon as you scroll, you'll never find it again. Yeah. So it's, you've got to get something tangible out there, and then you've got to back it up and follow it up. If a customer's ringing you, they've already kind of made their decision. They want you to do it, or they wouldn't bother ringing you. So you just got to get them over the line, and go from there.
Frankie, Gordon, talk me through the three-phase one behind me, the Quantum. Obviously, let's move this out of the way. Give me some Gary-esque tips.
I'll tell you what I like first, Gary.
Go on.
It's got a light.
It's got a grey top. You like it because it's got a grey top.
For anyone who's been to the Tesla supercharger in Washington, Simon Weir, where there's no lighting, it's a miserable place. So even having a little bit of light at the top of the charger...
Can we drop the lights in here for a second, just see what it looks like? So imagine we're on a dark evening. Just drop the main lights out for me. They've just got to jump up now. They weren't expecting that. That's good. Yeah, gives off a reasonable amount of light, doesn't it? That's nice. And not got the glare, have we? I suppose you've designed it, so yeah, we're walking up to it and it's not glaring at us.
Yeah, louvered amenity lighting. So essentially, it's
louvered. Oh, you got a light.
The intention is to bring that down to the ground rather than the eyes of drivers that are just passing by. But of course, that with the status indicators, it's visible to passers-by without being too much of a distraction if they are looking for an EV charger.
Why you've put the sockets on the sides? They're surely on the front. Yeah, they're hidden around here. Someone's going to walk up to it and wonder what's happening. What's happening there then?
Yeah, so essentially, to go for a dual charger, having 2 sockets on the front,
Yep.
one of them then breaches the latest accessibility standard.
How?
So there's set parameters of screens, contactless terminals, sockets, and essentially to put one above the other, one of them is always going to be outside of that window.
So you effectively can't put them side by side, so people tend to put them one above the other, and one will always fall outside of the requirement.
Yeah.
I see a lot of that, though. How come people are getting around that, then?
It's not quite enforced as much as it needs to be. I think it's a bit like the charging regulations, the smart charging regulations, and just they're a couple of years behind. They bring in this regulation, they don't really check product before it goes out into the street, and then they catch up later on. And obviously we made the decision to change the whole commercial range to comply with the accessibility standards. That's across the pedestals, even the wall-mounted versions. We then give guidance in the training that although it's wall-mounted, don't put it too high, because immediately the installation is then void to the accessibility element. If we go and raise this on a plinth too high, immediately that takes the whole product outside of the accessibility. So when we bring the contractors in, we're educating to that point, making them aware of the other standards outside of just fitting the charger down on the ground.
Display, same? Has that got a set height?
Yeah, the display does. I say the contactless terminals, sockets, there's an even, you can go further with the accessibility side, and that's the amount of force required to insert and disconnect the cable.
I was going to say that, because my daughter's only got one hand, so obviously, it's going to be quite a struggle. So there's actually a required amount of effort to get it out?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's pleasing to hear, that is.
Yeah, so there's a lot of focus now going into it. Obviously, EVs, the range and the price range of the vehicles, the range of how far they can drive, it's now capturing such a wide audience of drivers that, of course, standardising things like this is really important. And happy to say we meet all the criteria.
And good news is, Gary, there is a standard. Everyone loves a standard, especially all our audience. Yes, it's the PAS 1899.
Right, okay.
There you go.
The year you were born?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, just after you. Yeah. But,
no one's going to believe that, Gordon. No, you should have had a little shave.
But it's it's interesting though. But those big DC cables are quite heavy, aren't they? So you can understand some people really struggle with them. I mean,
Yeah. So across the DC range now, we standardise cable management systems.
Yeah. So is that like that support, that sort of wire that sort of feels it's taken some of the weight of the connector off you?
Dependent on the size of the product. So obviously we go from a 7 kilowatt home charger all the way to a 400 kilowatt integrated DC charger. We go to an 800 kilowatt satellite kind of solution on a DC. We can operate AC and DC input on those types of products. But to be able to standardise across the range, even though it costs us, because there's many scenarios where those products may not be going into the public location. So they could argue it's not required to meet the criteria, a fleet, for example, but we standardise compliance, and that's the way that it's set now.
One of the big bugbears is the people, let's imagine someone who's had an EV for 1 week and then they drive a transit van and forget it gets a clutch. You can imagine that kind of melon. Sorry about that. Sorry, who's the melon? Sorry about that.
Gela melon.
Sorry about that. Gela melon. Okay, yeah, me, it's not going to be good when you go back to work, is it? You're in a world of trouble. So you imagine that complete plum. Okay, you can see them. I'm sure you can visualise them. They turn up at something that suggests it can charge your vehicle in a nanosecond for the amount of energy it can jump into it. They plug in and they see it slowly but surely charging it.
Yeah.
Is there any way of overcoming this plum?
I wouldn't say overcoming the plum.
Okay, so we're still stuck with it.
There's education around it. So in an AC charger like this, where we have a screen, we actually present the amperage of the cable back to the driver. So it might be a 22 kilowatt charger, but if they've only got a 16 amp 3-phase cable, therefore they've got 11 kilowatts, we're showing that on the screen rather than them picking the phone line up to the charge point operator or to us to ask why is my car not charging at the speed I expect. Then we identify that it's the cable restricting it. Obviously, there's driver education for them to understand the vehicles as well. That's really important. On the DC side, we we've standardised very high amperage cables, so it tends to be on standard 400 volt architecture on the DC network. It's the amperage of the cable that limits the amount of power that can be given. So where you've got some people operating in the realm of 150 to 200 amp cables, on the bigger chargers we're 375 amp cables with a 500 amp boost function that we can maintain for 45 minutes.
Just lunacy, absolute lunacy.
So for those 400 volt vehicles, we can still support them. For the 800 volt architecture, all of a sudden we're being able to charge 2 vehicles with the same amount of current at a higher amount.
Okay. Sounds like you've got loads of research and development here. Who ultimately gives you the best idea of what you need to do as you evolve your products within the Rolec range?
I think to keep it short and sweet, obviously we get customer requests, we get consultants that listen to everything on the planet and bring it all together, and we need this, and sometimes it's just not feasible. They're not realistic, but for what truly benefits the installation, the efficiency, the support, it comes from the installer network. And that's where...
Yep.
How?
Yeah. So...
Get paid?
No.
No, you're doing that for free.
No, we get no money though.
Do you know how much we're going to pay you for doing the live stream?
Nothing.
Your usual fee.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, we're part of the Rolec Champion network. We cover off an area within the country where we can do warranty call-outs. We carry parts and materials for the unit. So if someone goes down, then we can do that and do the repairs. But we also meet up back at the HQ over in Boston quarterly, where we can bring our team with us, our installers, and they can go off with the tech guys and go through some really in-depth fault finding on some chargers, while the business owners sit with the likes of Alan, sometimes Frankie, and we talk about the things that gripes that we may have, things that are going well, things that aren't going so well, product innovation that they're bringing out that's going to help us. There's loads of things, like the EVO itself, how quickly you can install it and how easy it is to do. And then like with Trevor, the EV block, you can put them in, drop them in, the knockout in the middle. It seems everything is making it easier for the installers to get the right, if you get the right product, it'll make your life a lot easier. And then you've got that support afterwards. But yeah, we meet up, and then we get the level ups every now and then, which is always a great get together for all the installers and champions and installers and everyone and the Rolec team. So you get to meet the rest of the team behind the scenes. That you speak to them on the phone, but it's great to go and see them and have a beer with them as well.
I was just about to say, is there any liquid refreshment?
You
have to pay for that.
No.
It's everywhere you go, it's free, isn't it? Yeah. So champions, we've got those champions out there, they're helping develop your products. I don't think you can get better than that. Actually, Electricians has said X, Y, and Z, and you're making those adjustments.
Yep. Yeah, it's that. So the champion is geographically around the country. We have national champions as well.
You're a national champion?
No, we're a geographical champion.
Is that better?
It works for us, yeah.
National sounds a bit more...
National, we need a lot more men and women to
like more driving, Gary.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
I just want to be a national champion.
But often the boots on the ground, they will work round something that maybe they don't feel is right. So to be able to give them the opportunity to just have a voice. I mean, we can't cater for everything. Obviously, we have to standardise a product and then put it through the certification, and every change that's made, it costs time and money. But the important thing that we're trying to do is take on board the feedback before we go and implement changes. So we send out market survey to our contractor base. We are considering X. How would this impact you? Do you feel this would bring a benefit? Is there anything else that you would like to change on this product? And I think every single one of the commercial range in the last 12 months has improvements made. Standardising, improved specification, no cost uplift, because we've seen the value in bringing that to the product. We can't charge on for them. It's almost the contractors providing an element of consultancy.
With that in mind, let's see how quick you can fit a single phase one when you put them in the most onerous conditions you could ever find to a human being. This is a terrible environment in order to do a race. So let's see where we are now. We're at... look, we're all waving, they're all happy at the moment. Fastest install wins. We're at a college by the looks of things, and you can't get more realistic than that, with rain coming in through the leaky roof and the heating not working and being freezing cold. If he'd have come on the live show, we'd have mentioned his bald head and his underpants. So yeah, they'd have been in a world of trouble. So this is a race just to see a bit of fun, to see how quick. Are these champions in amongst us, or are they just normal installers?
So there was a mixture of both champions and new installers, never touched our product before.
The check shirt guy, was he helping him? that there. Well, it looked like it was the lecturer coming round giving him a bit of a lift.
Hold on. Just see Dan from Rewind Agency in the background there.
There we go. Fastest time, winner was, we're not suggesting he's going to use that speed all the time. What sort of time would you think realistically you could fit one of these in?
So from supply being in place, obviously then charge point in the box, mounting onto the wall, terminating the cables, connecting our configuration app and onboarding onto the customer app, we say 10 minutes. The average on the day, and the 3 minutes 22, I could definitely say, if it was on my house, I'd probably question slightly the tardiness there.
You're saying he's rough?
No, there's good installs, great installs that he does, but he definitely wanted the pride of being first. But 5 minutes.
Nothing.
Nothing, it was free. It was 5 minutes for the day was the average.
Okay, brilliant. Now, talking of brilliant, I'd like to say the fantasy football is brilliant, and it's sponsored by EV Blocks, along with a few other selective world-class brands within our electrical industry. It's probably your favourite time because you're going to find out who won Manager of the Month.
Game week 3 is done and dusted. Some managers are smiling all the way to the top of the table, myself included, sitting nice and comfy in 25th place, while others are wondering if their teams even turned up. Don't panic though, plenty of time left to climb or sink further. Let's dive in. We start with the Komodo Workwear Manager of the Month, and it's up the toffees, David Cleverly. David has racked up an enormous 233 points across the first 3 game weeks, which actually puts him just outside the top 1,000 managers in the world, out of more than 11 million players. That is outrageous. David, you've bagged yourself a Komodo Workwear hoodie. Click the Get Involved link in the description to claim your prize. Wear it with pride. You've earned it. Next up is the EV Blocks Defence of the Week, and that goes to Ady's Aces, Ada Campbell, whose backline stacked up a rock-solid 52 points. That defence is sturdier than an EV block, and those things don't budge. The attack, though, maybe not quite so unshakable. Next up is the TIS Transfer of the Week. Last week's pick, Embuemo, delivered with a goal and 10 points. Well done if you trusted the hustle. Looking ahead, the spotlight's on Liverpool attackers, playing Burnley, and while they're still waiting for their new signings to kick in properly, it's still a good fixture to target. Just pray they don't chuck a rotation spanner in the works. Next up, the Marshall Toughlex Team of the Week goes to FC Cleanish Park, Harry McGowan. Harry pulled in a monster 85 points thanks to slapping the triple captainship on João Pedro. That's catapulted him 191 places up the table. 1 week you're middle of the pack, the next you're rubbing shoulders with the top 100. That's the magic of FPL. Last but not least, the Fusebox Flyer of the Week belongs to Anslow FC, Graham Anslow, who powered up the table with 77 points, climbing 212 places into 132nd. Special nod to Richard Gaunt, strategizing from sunny Ibiza, who still climbed 109 places into 237th. Cheers to deciding your transfers over a beachside pint and still climbing the table. That's the wrap on Game Week 3 in the eFIXX Fantasy League. Huge thanks to our brand partners for helping us bring the banter, and don't forget to enter the draw for the Nipex Tool of the Week, link in the description. Keep those transfers coming. September's Manager of the Month will score a Komodo Workwear hoodie. Let the power plays begin. Until next time, may your captains actually play, may your benches be stacked, and may Leeds continue to disappoint Rick.
He's sensational. To say he loves doing a fantasy football would be an understatement, and thanks this week. I never got a ribbon, but you can tell from that I'm nowhere near anywhere decent along that leaderboard. Now, there might be some money left on the table. We've talked about grants being disappeared, but if you're levelling up your infrastructure and you're going for bigger projects, is there any money we can grab there, Trev?
Yeah, so the infrastructure grant is still available at £500 per parking bay, and the socket grant is still available at £350. So taking Frankie's Hex product, he's 4 chargers on there, so that's 4 parking bays if you position your EV block in the right place. 4 lots of 500 quid per bay, plus 4 lots of 350 quid per socket available. And Dave, you were saying there's a couple of minimum requirements to be eligible for that grant.
Yeah, infrastructure grants, you need to have minimum 2 bays with sockets, and then you can future-proof, and as long as you can evidence that the other bays are in. And top of my head, it's capped at 15 grand.
Yeah.
So I think you can have 4 sites, but all the details are on the ozev.gov website.
How long is that around for? Is it still?
It's saying, usually it'll say to the 31st of March, so next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's great for us with the passive blocks. Put them in for the parking bays, you know, additional ducting and an EV block for that trenching. And if you're able to cover those 4 parking bays, you know, you're looking at what, £2,000 for every EV block you're putting in down that car park in terms of grant money, it makes that
But you don't have
CapEx
to
spend
adjust the
for
infrastructure.
customer.
You don't have to put the pedestal on it.
Correct, yeah.
You're loving that one, aren't you? That's
Yeah.
your grant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coming out, Trev.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one. That
But
is brilliant.
it's great because it makes the installation more feasible for the end user.
Because it costs you more to then remobilise a team later to go and dig more infrastructure in. If you're there on site, just get it in. Get the grants
For
in.
you, because you're the charge point operator, you want as much as
You haven't made any money all night. I'll buy you a drink tonight. It's going to be desperate. Now, my biggest fear, we've circled around this because my biggest fear is you'll get yourself one of those reasonably priced EV chargers that you've seen for a reasonably short amount of time, and then all of a sudden it doesn't talk to maybe a cloud or some third party, and you wake up in the morning and it feels like I have done every morning I ever woke up. It feels completely dumb. Is that an issue with the Rolec?
No, definitely not. So we operate a native OCPP communication, OCPP 1.6J.
That's what I was thinking.
Good, he was on the right track.
Yeah.
And essentially, in the instance where we use Dave as the example that's sitting there and controlling the charge from a cloud level, once they've took ownership of those products, the asset becomes theirs. We don't interfere with that. If anything was to happen to Rolec, it doesn't impact those products. They stay operational. They could be migrated over to another platform in the future. But the fact that we don't sit in the middle and from a cloud level, or whatever it may be, there's that reassurance that the infrastructure they're putting in is going to last 10 years. There's been quite a few cases in the last 12 to 18 months of major players, UK and Europe, of tens of thousands of chargers going off overnight. And that's because they've exited the market, they've shut down a cloud, they can't support a software system. When the smart charging regulations came into play and the cybersecurity element of it, some people just decided to turn the key. Okay, we're better off turning that off than getting a £10,000 fine per charger. So we stick to having the compliant hardware, and the clouds then do the compliance up there. They take ownership of the asset.
So just to unpack that a little bit, and this was a big learning for me today, you look at a data sheet for a charger, all of them will say OCPP compliant, but your essentially software sits in the charger, where some of these other chargers have got their own sort of software that talks to the cloud, and only when they're married together it actually works.
Yeah, some companies will operate their own cloud, and then forever you are tied into that cloud. And
so even though you think you can swap operator to do your payment services and things like that, if they switch off that intermediate layer, you're toast. And you mentioned that, Dave. You had a painful experience with that.
Yeah, so part of Wrexham is we adopted, we took over a bunch of legacy chargers, around about 50 charge units, public facing, fine one day, and then the next day they were all off. So we'd lost 50 charge points across the borough, it's dead in the water. We managed to get them back on again, but yeah, it would have been a lot easier if they were all Rolexes, they would have stayed.
And under the public charge point regulations, uptime is a big stick, isn't it?
Yeah. So we have monthly meetings with the council, and we have to go through all of our data and go through what our uptime is on each area. It's an average across the site, and then we have to give reasons why they're not operational. And again, we're invested into this contract, so if they're offline, they're not making any money. So we need to have them up and working, generating revenue.
You do.
Definitely do, yeah.
Now, talking about generating revenue, let's run the sad scene that is the people that need to sweep up, because Dave would hate this absolutely with a vengeance, because what happens is you end up going onto a job, and I'd imagine on your job there'd be really big cables, and we'd need to obviously get those cables into a vehicle of some sort. Let's say the green cable bin here. And it's absolutely terrible, because what ends up happening, Dave, and you wouldn't like this, they give you money back for your scrap cable. Now, I know what you're like. You'd probably want to give it away for free, and you wouldn't want to get that cash. But Green Cable give you money. And they're linked in the description. If you do bigger works, you get what we like to call bigger cash. I'm sure I've just offended you there. You would make some money. Wife's wrote it down on a piece of paper. She's threw the piece of paper instantly away as if we want that. Dave would not be interested in us making any money. It's been amazing. I've had an absolutely super exciting evening. Trev, you're an absolute legend. You do everything. You walked in and within 45 seconds we put you in a cardboard box. We had a gnome hat on you and a rod one time.
Cardboard box, guys. All this packaging, cardboard. We've seen a bit of plastic. Yeah, kept Trev's cardboard box.
I didn't
even
know.
A big charger like this comes in a cardboard box.
There must have been some plastic in there I missed.
Nothing at all.
Fully recyclable?
Fully 100% recyclable. Self-suspended cardboard across all of the range. Very big task for us to achieve it in having so many products, but
that's incredible.
Proud to say. Yeah.
The only plastic you need, Gary, is the one to touch on that payment terminal so it ends up in Dave's bank.
Well, yeah. And Dave needs it. He's giving his stuff away for free.
It's great with it. So try to cut in, but it's again with the Rolec stuff. The circular economy. If we go and take out an old charger, an old Rolec unit, then we can send that back free of charge back to Rolec, and they'll just recycle it. They'll break everything down into component parts and recycle every part of it. Nothing goes to landfill. So again, it benefits us on our tenders and bids.
You're mugging Dave off because you're taking all those bits and flogging them on, aren't you? You're breaking them down and you're making Dave, they are completely mugging you off again. It's gold. You're handing them gold bars every time. You're like, we don't want this.
Money just makes you miserable.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Your wife's looking up there. She's the happiest lady in the world because she's got absolutely nothing going on. So yeah, again, the green ethics are beyond that. We're seeing that a lot more when you're tendering for stuff. Can you view your cream, which is like green and cream. I'm getting tight, need a beverage, red wine this evening. Green credentials in order to make sure that net zero part of your thing is done. So if you recycle your cable, you can tell that, can't you? Are you green cable to recycle?
Yeah, we do.
Ross, they ain't Ross, though, is it? I can never remember your name, Ross. Frankie, it's been fantastic. You're going to leave here and you're going to forever remember me after this one. Hopefully work will continue on. You've only got the role of managing director. I don't see why you shouldn't take a lot of banter flake. It's been great. We've learnt so much from the Rolec products, both single and three-phase and the pedestal stuff, and it is incredible how much technology and time and effort you've put behind it in order to be probably now leading in this style of chargers that we've got behind us. So well done to you for that one.
Thank you.
Whisperer, it's been fantastic. Next time I see you, you'll be shouting my name across a trade counter or across a trade show. I won't hear you. And then all of a sudden I'll bump into you and you say, I've been calling you for ages. And 3 dogs will be running around. They're the only people who heard it. But you've been great. Thank you very much for your technical support and obviously that culture thing that you're trying to get. I think you're probably the right person for that. And imagine when he came in for the interview with his big smile and his demeanour, you went, this is the guy that we want to model our culture on. Dave, you've been one of the best talking guests we actually had ever, and that's an absolute credit to you. So if you were an electrician, you're certainly now a business owner stroke salesman, so well done to you. Thank you very much. It's been mildly pleasurable, young man. Yeah, so we're going to do this again in 2 weeks, shall we?
I think we'll have to.
Yeah, we're going to do this again in 2 weeks. Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you very much. You've got to the end. The song's brilliant, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much.
From curb to car, the game has moved. Rolex here, refined and smooth. Smart tech dressed in a rugged shell. Installer friendly and built to excel. No tangled wires or guesswork stress. Just simple steps for cleaner success. From homes to hubs, it's clear to see. This charger means simplicity. Not just a box with a flash of chrome. It's function first at work or home. Full compliance, tested right. Packed with features and safety.